Is Penix's draft stock falling right now, Albert?
So I don't think it's falling. There are a couple of things here. Number one, the medical is really important. And I think we all know that. And different teams are going to have different medical grades on him. One I talked to said the medical grade isn't great, but you can work with it, right? That's why the 40 time really helped him, because since he's had the injuries, he seemed a little bit more reluctant to run. But I think part of that's that he's evolving as a passer and becoming more comfortable as a passer. So he doesn't need to run as much. And running the 4.5, I think some scouts had him at 4.53, 4.54, 4.56. He's right in that range. That's really good, right? So I think that was a big win for him yesterday. He showed off his arm strength too. Thing is, I'm just not sure the NFL en masse has been as high on Michael Penix as people on the outside have been. And I'm going to give you a story here from right before the championship game. So I made calls on McCarthy and Penix before the championship game, just trying to get a gauge of, all right, like what should we all be looking at as fans of the sport, as fans of the draft when we watch these two kids on Monday night. And one thing that one of the executives I talked to said was, I view Michael Penix as a 3-point shooter. He is as good as anybody we've seen the last few years throwing the deep ball. He's phenomenal throwing the deep ball, and he's got great arm strength, but he's scattershot underneath. And then I turn on the game on Monday night, Rich, on that Monday night, and I know you were watching and engaged. Michigan's defensive coordinator, Jesse Minter, at least it looked to me like he was daring him to throw underneath. And Penix didn't look the same. And so that sort of stuck in my head, because as I brought that 3-point shooter analogy up with another scout, they all said, yeah, that's kind of it with him. He's a lot less consistent underneath. And that Michigan defense had the scheme and the horses to force him to throw it underneath, to take away the deep ball, to say, you got to beat us 5, 8, 10 yards at a time. And he couldn't quite do it. So that's just something that sort of sticks in my head. And I'm not saying he can't get past that, but remember, like Bo Nix and Michael Penix are a little different. Or Bo Nix, Michael Penix, and Jaden Daniels are a little different than McCarthy, May, and Williams, in that McCarthy, Williams, and May are all 3-year guys, where the other 3-year guys were 5 or 6 years in college. So there might be a little less growth potential with them. And it might be one of those where what you see is what you get. It's just an interesting kind of way of looking at it that this executive gave me. And, sure enough, that night it sort of played out right in front of me and kind of brought to life why some NFL teams have some doubts on him.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.